Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Back out here on the Jeep today. While I wait for the okay on the balancer and pulley clearance with our new core support cross member bar, I'm gonna fix this rust hole down here, and we got one on the other side too. If we get this side finished up, we'll go jump over there. But I'm gonna start cutting this out and seeing what we got. It looks like it's double walled. There's like a bottom and a top, so I'm probably gonna end up cutting the top out a little. You know, we'll cut the top out and then we'll cut the bottom out at a different size so we can patch the bottom, get it all grinded up, and then cover over that with another plate, weld that up, and grind that up. So I'm gonna try this first. There you are. I'm gonna try this first cut that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make it a little larger than the hole, and I'm gonna try and only cut through the first layer. So alright, so you know, I can see that there's definitely something more than just this one piece in here, but because of this, and then there's the perfect line that goes across there, I thought that there was a piece of metal sitting over the top of this, but it's not. It looks like that might be they had that patch on there and then they sprayed it with something, maybe this brown or something over this black, or they sprayed the black over the brown and it gave it that line, and I thought that it was a piece of metal. So I don't know, I think maybe we'll cut right along this weld, because it makes no sense to put a weld right above it. So we'll grind this down and clean this up, and we'll cut right along that weld, and then we'll replace that. Alright, I'm gonna try and just cut along that weld right there that we just ground down. Those look like, that looks like spot welds right there. So, it looks like there's a spot weld, and a spot weld. So I'm gonna drill those out real quick. I was gonna change out this bit. I've had this bit for this drill for years. It's gotta be wore out. And I know I just seen one, but I don't remember where I seen it. So it looks like I got cut back a little farther. So I knew that there was two pieces here. It looks like I need to come back a little more. Well, hopefully it doesn't go like all the way across the back of the cab. I guess I should crawl underneath there and look real quick. So this is what we're repairing up in there. So it looks it looks pretty good. I don't think we have to worry about going all the way across. So that's awesome. We just got to take it back a little bit farther. So it looks like we probably need to take it back. You can see my cut right there. So it looks like we need to take it back maybe another 3 inches, and then we can repair all of that. This here, you know, this truck's gonna get undercoated underneath here. We'll POR 15 all this, and then I'll put some seam sealer here so that you don't see it, and then it'll get undercoated and it'll look good. They have on the inside of the truck, that's an 1/8 inch plate that they have welded right there. That thing, that's an 1/8 inch plate that's welded in there. So I'm not worried about like strength purposes. At that point, it's just cosmetic, you know, what it looks like. So, and I think the seam sealer will be okay in there. Nobody will ever know except for the people who watch this video. So we'll cut it back. I think we'll try cutting it back to where they had this. We'll follow that line, and we'll cut back a little farther, and we'll see where we're at. Any farther than that, we're gonna have to remove that seatbelt, which is, you know, not a huge deal. I wasn't looking for seatbelt bolts underneath there. I guess on here, I guess we'll just stick my head back underneath here and look. Is there a seatbelt bolt there? Yeah. So I think that's going to be a 2-man job. We're going to have somebody underneath here with a wrench. Have somebody underneath here with a wrench while somebody hits the top part with the impact. See if I'm close. I kind of winged it there. Okay, so we got that piece in. I'm gonna file it up and clean it up, and I think I'm gonna maybe bend this back with the screwdriver so that we can get in there and weld along there. And then yeah, we'll grind that up and clean that up, and then we'll make the top piece. And I gotta knock out these rivets, and we'll weld those up too. I sandblasted those couple of spots there to get rid of their piece of metal. So basically what I wanna, what we'll 2-in-1 is we'll 2-in-1 this this little box, and then when we put this piece in and get it welded and ground down, then we'll 2-in-1 that. So let's get some 2-in-1 and we'll spray this little. All right, so I got it all in there. I even sprayed the inside of the back of the cab. Might as well get everything that we can through that hole. You know, I'm planning on going in there and undercoating everything anyways, but if I can get some of the top stuff that you'll never get from the bottom, awesome. So, and then we need to mark spot welds for the body mount there. So we'll drill some holes in that. That'll get spot welded. So, and then when I put the top piece in, we'll drill a couple of spot welds in there too that'll then weld to this piece. And it'll be all strong and good to go. Now we'll just let that dry enough. I'm sure those spot welds are in the right spot. I'm gonna take a break for like 15 minutes and just kind of let that tack up before we weld it in there. We're back after, I don't know, I give it maybe 20 minutes to dry, and I also painted the inside of the patch off camera there. So well, let's work on getting this guy tacked in place. I guess I should have cleaned up this mess a little bit and got the welder going. let's go see what we got in our scrap drawer. And it's not scrap metal, it's brand new metal that's just hasn't worked out for what I was doing, or hasn't worked out for what I was doing, or just cut off pieces. Like I said, nothing goes to waste around here. So we know that guy fit. Will this guy fit? Yeah, I think this guy will fit. Alright, I think she is a beautiful fit. So let's I'm gonna put some tape around here, and we'll get this painted up, and then we'll paint the inside of this as well. Alright, so we're back to weld this in. After I got painted, I went in and had a sandwich, so we gave it some time to dry. Got the inside of this painted. So I was just knocking out those rivets there. So we're out of welding gas. The shop's closed. They close at 5. It's like 6 o'clock. So, but I'll go run up there tomorrow morning and I'll get filled up and we'll get back on it. I'm gonna clean up my mess right now, and we'll move over to the other side. And we'll start We'll pull that patch off over there. We'll assess the situation, cut out what needs to be cut out. We'll create the patches, we'll get them painted, and we'll have them ready to go in the morning. So tomorrow morning we can come in, we can finish welding this up, grind it all down, and then we can go over there and we can just weld that stuff right in. So, well, for the most part, we can weld it in. You know, if it's two pieces again, like we had to do on this side, then we'll have to weld it in and then paint. But I'll get the patches made. We'll get the back side of those all painted. So, but we got to assess the situation first. So I'll be back after a brief cleanup, and we'll assess that situation over there. Okay, back over here on this side now, on the passenger side, we're gonna drill this plate off. I did look underneath. It looks the same as the other side, so we're gonna be doing the exact same repair. So that side you didn't get to see me remove this plate, so how exciting. So, looks about the same to me. So, well, we'll grab the cutoff wheel and we'll start cutting it away. And you know, here's a little guy right here. Let's. Whoa! Dude, that's trying to run away from me. I guess while we're here, we'll just keep going. I don't have a welder, so, but on the other side, I removed this floor panel right here because we got to replace the rocker. We're replacing the rocker on this side, so I'll drill these holes out too. So we may end up remaking this piece because it's pretty chunky in there. So I'm just kind of assessing the situation. So me personally, at this point we weren't gonna do anything with the floor. He didn't want to do nothing with the floor, which is possible that he still may not want to. But me personally, I would just cut all this out and make a new floor pan for both sides, put it in, get rid of all these rivets. So, And I mean, if he doesn't want to go crazy with it, that's cool. You know, cut it out, put a series of tacks going all the way around, kind of grind them flat, and then I'll seam seal it, and we could call it a day. But it would get rid of this, all this rust that's here, and it would get rid of all the rivets, which drive me nuts. Alright, I'll be back. I gotta think about this for a second. I'll be back. Alright, so I vacuumed everything up. Kind of scraped some of the chunky stuff off of there. You know, it's pretty bad. It looks like you just, you know, if you stepped on it, it'd just fall through. I did find a bunch of chunks like this in the stuff that I was chipping off. And it's actually lead. So at some point in time, when this rust had started, before they even put these metal pans on, they had like leaded the rust holes. So that was interesting. That's the first bit of lead that I found. So, but I'm just gonna get back to knocking out these, well, no, I'm not gonna knock out, maybe I'll knock out these couple that are along this pan here, because even if we were to replace these front pans, like, I would not touch this or remove this or anything. It would, whatever we did would just get connected to this. But, so I'll remove these couple of rivets that are up here. But other than that, we're just going to leave them because regardless of whether or not we replace all the floor pans here, like, I think that I'll at least we'll drill out these rivets up here, and we'll remove these panels, and then we'll cut all this bad metal out, and then we'll put these back in. So there's no reason for this old rusty metal to be underneath these. So at worst case, that's what I'll do. So we'll at least get rid of it, but we'll just put these panels back in that they made. Cutting through, so remember I told you on the other side that they have like an 1/8 inch like steel plate here that the body mounts to and whatnot. This one they have, it's a perfect rectangle. That side over there, there's an angle here. Oh, excuse me, I got the burpees. So I'm cutting this on an angle so it matches the other side. Now, the reason that I'm cutting this on an angle, not only so that it matches the other side, but so I can remove this corner so that we can replace this patch here. The other side, I ground down their boogery welds the best that I could. And when I go to do the door jambs, I'll put a little Marglass there and we'll flatten it out. I'll do the same thing here. So it's pretty thick. I don't think it's quite an 1/8 inch, but it's close. So you see that there's rust back behind here. So right now, I'm not worried about this. I'm just worried about this little square right here. Like I said, this is cut now to match the other side. I'll put a piece of metal in here, maybe slip it in behind this, and we'll weld this patch in, and then this will get welded down here so that it matches the other side. This in here, I repaired on the other side when I cut the cab corner open. So the cab corner on the other side got replaced from like here down, and I replaced this entire piece in here. It's a box. I don't remember. It may have been part of our lost footage. I think it was. So, but there is, there's a giant box that's behind all this that like the rocker connects to, and then it connects to the whole cab corner area, and it basically it ties the whole rocker and the whole cab corner in together. So when we cut this rocker out and we cut this cab corner open, I mean, you can see we have, you know, we have some pretty, like I replaced all this, the whole door jamb area, everything on the other side. So this is all gonna get cut open and replaced, and that's when we'll fix this, because I'll be able to get inside there then. So we have him cut open, and I think, you know, we're good. A little bit more cleanup there. He'll be good. We can weld up these two holes. And then now I'm gonna come here and we're gonna start to cut some of this out. I don't think this is as bad as that side, but let's start cutting and find out. I'm gonna start small, and then we'll work our way up. I think we're gonna cut this square out just a little bit bigger. Need to cut a small section of this out. We didn't have to do that on that side. We cut right along the top. But this side we gotta cut down a little bit farther. And then my little angle that we put here in the door jamb, I was looking at the other side, and it looks like it can do a little bit gradual, or a little bit more of an angle, and that'll give us some more room with repairing this. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, so we were able to cut this guy into a square. So we'll square him up. I don't know exactly what's going on here. It looks like somebody maybe previously cut it. Oh yeah, you can see a whiz wheel cut in there or something. That was not from me. So, you know, maybe I'll you know what? I think there's a spot weld right there, and that's why it's hammered in. But we uncovered 2 little holes down here. They look like, by the way that they look to me, they look like they've been sandblasted before. We'll hit them with the sandblaster again. I'll probably just weld these up and grind them up. You know, we're gonna weld this piece back to this. That's how the other side is. So we'll get this looking good. I'm gonna sandblast it real quick, and then I'm gonna call it a night. So let's get the sandblaster over here real fast. And alright, I heated that up and pulled that out so that you know, we can weld up that previous cut from somebody else. But I think we're good. Much better. So I think we're gonna leave it at that. We got it all sandblasted. Tomorrow morning we're gonna run up and go grab some more welding gas, and then we'll come back and we can weld up the other side, or we'll probably finish that other side and then we'll jump over here. So, but we're back out here on this patch that we left off with last night. I did go get some gas today, so we're good to carry on. We left off with getting it all. Jeez. We left off with getting it all sandblasted, so we can start making this inside patch that I want to make. And then once we get the inside patch made, we need to do a little 2-in-1 in there, and then we can get it welded in. So I need to grab a file so that we can file these edges down a little bit, just so we don't leave no stragglers like this. I can also cut off this little tab. This was the one that we started for the other side and it was a fail. It'll work for the inside patch here. So, like I said, nothing goes to waste around here. It almost fits perfectly there. A little shy. Alright, we're in. I'm gonna drill a hole in this guy real quick for our spot weld on our body brace there. And then we'll get it cleaned up. We'll get some 2-in-1 on it. We'll spray some 2-in-1 in here. And then it'll be, you know, we'll give it 15 minutes or so to set up before we weld this in. So, yeah. Pretty much the hole that I'm gonna drill and the paint that I'm gonna put on is the same thing I did on that side. I won't bore you guys with that. So I will see you guys in a little bit when we're ready to get this guy welded in. Alright. We're back after, I don't know, probably about 25 minutes. It took me, I put 3 coats down. So, you know, I give a few minutes between each coat and then let it sit for about 15 minutes. But we are ready to go. The piece that we made to fit in here, I put it in front of my heat so that it can kind of bake. Alright. Well, we got it all welded in. I think it welded in pretty good, other than this little front area, which it's welded in now. But a lot of popping, a lot of splatter. Other than that, it welded in. You know, we had it sandblasted, but it was very pitted, you know, very pitted metal, and I'm sure behind the metal is not in the best of shape, so, you know, we could have been burning into the rust on the backside. But let's get this ground up and cleaned up, and we'll start making the top piece. So I just went back in and I welded between the 2 pieces of metal. Now I did a good job welding this piece in to the existing structure that was here, but between the 2 pieces of metal, this big thick piece of steel that was added in here at some point in time, between that and the piece I just welded in, I just didn't like the way it looked. Now the top plate that I would have put over it would have covered it and nobody would have ever seen it, but it just looked to me for like a place that moisture could get trapped in and cause it to start rotting out. So I just welded it up. Now we'll grind it and clean it up, and then our new piece that we put over the top will just butt up with that weld and we'll weld it in. So Alright, I got a fresh battery in ya. I got it taped off while you guys were away. Maybe the other camera caught it. But we're going to spray a little 2-in-1 in here, and then I'll see you guys when it's dry and ready to make the next patch. Alright, I'm going to put a couple more coats on it, but I will see you guys shortly. Alright, so we left off with me painting the inside of this. So we got it painted. It looks good. And then I kind of squirreled. And I started making this patch here, and I got it tacked in place. These little rust holes down here, I'm just going to weld them up. When I have this cab corner over, I should be able to clean up from the back side, because, you know, the cab corner, when it's open, I did the other side, we cleaned it all up and painted everything in there, and we made a new, there's a box back here that kind of ties the rocker and the cab all together. I'd rebuilt that box. We'll do that again on this side too, and I'll be able to clean up everything from the back side and get it painted and make it look nice. But so we're just gonna weld these up down here. But this here, I created a patch. You know, I don't know, it took me 10-15 minutes or so to make this patch, and I was getting ready to weld it in when my buddy that owns this Jeep showed up. And we just kind of took a look at everything that I had been doing, and we bent up some rod for some radiator hoses, so he can take those into the store and try and find some radiator hoses that'll fit. He took a look at the rotted floor here. He gave me the okay to put a new floor in it. So we're going to be doing that here soon. We'll be putting a new floor in. The metal will be here next week for it. So he's happy with all the body mounts, said that all looks good. He said the front end looks good. So we're good to go. I'm going to weld this in real quick, and we'll go from there. Trying to look for somewhere to maybe get some groundage. So most of this will weld in okay. I think we're gonna have maybe a little issues down here on the bottom. It's a little thin down there, but we'll get it. Alright, let's grind that up, see if anything needs to be hit a second time. Alright, I think that's good enough. You know, this angle part here looks about the same as it does on the other side. I had cleaned up all the welds. It did originally look like this on the other side. It looked like this, like all the way around it, and I ground it down, cleaned it up like this. And when we go to do the door jamb, I'm gonna use a little Marglass and kind of level this out. It doesn't affect the way the door closes or anything like that. I mean, it might be a little bit closer, but you don't see it when the door is closed. So we're gonna smooth this out a little bit with some Marglass. It'll take care of any low spots that we have here. We're gonna do the same thing on that side. And I will come in here probably tomorrow, and we'll grind this smooth and clean this out. This will probably get a little coat or something in here too. Like I said, this stuff in here is gonna get bed lined, so you'll never see it, but you know, if we grind it and smooth it out, you for sure won't see it. And you know, it'll get a tape line that comes down here. This will be all blue body bed coat. So now let's see what time it is. Let's work on getting a patch made for this. Much better. Much better. Now we have some room to do, you know, a little trimming to make it fit nice. Instead of it dropping right in place and being a little short. I'm good with this. So now I think the first thing that we're gonna do, so I'm gonna mark this right along this weld, and we'll eliminate that little square right there. Okay, now our weld continues with this one. I think that's how we did it on the other side. I don't remember exactly. Let's just start with grinding on this side a little bit until we fit there, and we'll work on the back. We're pretty close on the side. I'll work on the back. This marker has about had it. All right, let's hope I didn't cut too much off. That is almost perfect. And time was a charm. Beauteous. All right, I'm gonna get those 3 holes drilled just like we did on the other side, and then I'm gonna get the inside painted so we can put it in. So stay up there where I had you. Anyways, you guys can see that it's a good fit. So we fit good all around. You know, as we go, I can tap down where we need to tap down. I had to do it on the other side as well. So, but yeah, it fits good. Like I said, I'm gonna drill those holes and we'll get that inside painted. Last night we left off with getting that patch in over there. I did pick up some more welding gas yesterday, so we're ready to weld this stuff in solid. Both of them are ready to go, so that's what we're going to work on. Get them welded in, ground down, and I think back onto the front after that. And get that cross member bar, the radiator core support bar, finished up. I was kind of waiting on my buddy who owns the Jeep to come over, check everything out, make sure that he was happy with the fitment of the radiator and everything like that. We got the okay to move forward, so we're gonna finish that up. Don't know if we'll get to that right now in this particular video, but may get to it today. If not, it'll probably be Tuesday. And tomorrow we're going out, going back out to Illinois to go visit some people, and then Monday is Monday. So whatever I don't get done today will be picked back up on Tuesday. So let's get to work and try and get a little something done today. Yeah, let's get to it. Just over here. So I just hit this. There was a little nub of the metal sticking out. I want to be able to weld straight across, so I took that nub off. And then I reached down in there and I just kind of chipped away our black 2-in-1 that we painted that's underneath there, just so that I have you know, some bare metal to touch to. The other day when we did the inside ones, you see me just blow it in. The paint was still kind of wet, so the hot wire going into it just, you know, burns right into the wet paint, no problem. But it's had a couple days to sit and dry, so I still could have burned into it, but it'll just make it easier if we just take some of that paint away. So that's what I was doing. And I'll get the welder set up. I'll probably weld these 3 spot welds last. We'll get this all welded in, and then I'll probably tap down just a little bit on it. This side is up. You can tell that there's a little bit of a gap between the 2 pieces of metal. That other side, we're right on top of it. Nothing that I don't think that there's anything really going on different with the truck. I think that this piece of metal, because this was all done just from, you know, leftover metal from something else, and I think that this piece of metal has a little bit of a bow in it, just because it was meant for something else that we ended up redoing. I know I ran it through the English wheel before we put it in here to straighten it out, so it might have a little bit of a bow from the English wheel. So for anybody who hasn't watched my videos yet, this is an inside patch. It's the floor. It's getting bed lined. When we're done, it'll have a seat here. I know he said he ordered carpet. I don't know if the carpet covers the back, but it may. This will be all underneath, it'll be hidden. I'm just gonna weld this thing in solid. I'm not gonna go around spot weld it in. We're just gonna weld it in solid. If it was an outside part of the vehicle, I would be tacking it in slowly and taking my time with everything. But being where this is in the vehicle, I'm just gonna hammer through it and get it done. So again, if you haven't watched my videos yet, I come in with a little grinder that I just used. It's got some 36 on it, and I just knocked down the tops of the welds so that there's not a bunch of bumps from each weld. And then I come in with this guy. He's my weld buster. They make blades that are this thick, and they're expensive. They're something like 35 bucks or something like that. So it's ridiculous. They do last a long time, but this is just 3 Wiz wheels clamped together. Not saying that I recommend doing that, but that's what I do. Alright, I think this side's good. So, you know, it's not perfect, but like I said, it's under the seat, and it's gonna get this whole inside's getting bed lined, so you'll never see, you know, what's there. I knocked it all down for the most part. I think, you know, at this point, it's good enough to swipe a little body filler over it if I wanted to go that far with it. Which, this in here, I'm gonna body work, because you see it when you open the door. Remember, this piece I did not put in. Somebody else put this in. So, and they had this big nasty weld that went all the way around. And I ground down this weld and this weld, and then this weld we pretty much cut out and, you know, replaced their big boogery weld when we did this. So this is nice and flat now. So, you know, and this is just minimal body work. I will, you know, probably take my thumb and smear up here, and then we'll spread this, and we'll sand it down, and that'll be good to go. And then up top here we'll probably run over this whole area up here with some 80 grit, knock it down, hit it all with the red scuff pad. We'll POR 15 everything, all this. We'll get POR 15 and then bed lined. And then this whole section here, I got the okay last night to put a new floor in. So we're gonna, this whole front section is gonna get a brand new floor put in it, and we'll sand it down, prime it, seam seal anything that needs to be seam sealed, and then it'll get bed lined. So I'll check back with you guys when we're done with the other side. I'm not gonna make you watch me do it twice. You kind of watched last night me make all those patches, and I know that was twice, but it was it was two different types of damage. The one damage went clear into the door jamb, so we had to repair the door jamb and that stuff. So there was a little bit of a mix-up, and mix up of video footage there because it was a little different. So but that side, I think we left off last night with I was gonna get that all painted, and I did. I got it all painted inside now, and then we got it tacked in. So I'll get that welded up and ground down, and I will see you guys for the. We're gonna jump back up at the front, and we're gonna get that bar welded in. So we gotta weld that front bracket body mount thing for the front core support that mounts on. We cut it off the old piece, so we gotta get that welded onto the front of the bar. Then we'll be taking the bar out. I gotta make some side pieces for it, so we'll make those. We'll get that all welded in and welded up solid. Then we gotta get the bar put in, measured out, make sure that we're in there square, and then I'm gonna fully weld it to the frame where I can get to it. There's not a whole lot of spots that we can get to it. The front I can get all the way across. The back, I don't think that we can get to the back. I think there's like this much room for me to stick the welder in. If I can get to it, I'll get to it, but I don't think that there's enough room along the back to weld it. So we may just do at the corners where it meets the corner of the frame. So we'll weld in there, and then it's gonna get plated around it. Like we're gonna plate off the frame. We removed the old plates. I'm gonna make some new ones that fit around the new bar, and then those will get welded into the frame, and then we'll weld completely around the bar. So so that's the next step, next process. Like I said, I don't know that all that's going to get done today. Maybe we'll get the front body mount piece done today, and then get the bar welded in on Tuesday. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Oop.